During this time too, man, Halloween is coming up. All the
Yes.
holidays,
Mhm.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, and everybody likes to eat, overindulge. People are drinking probably,
Mhm.
rolling up, of course, probably with
Yes.
family when they try to go outside. Or I'm about to take a
Mhm.
walk with my cousins. Everybody knows about that for sure. But how do we not try to overeat during this time of the holidays and not gain an extra 15, 20 like how some people do?
So it's interesting the timing of these holidays because we're dealing with flu season
Mm-hmm. Yep.
or
Yep.
COVID or
Yeah.
whatever they want to call it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
All the same, right?
Yeah.
But those are just labels because really what it is it's an annual purge
Hmm.
because seasonally we purge, monthly we purge, seasonally we purge, annually we purge.
Right.
And the amount of purging is going to be proportional to the level of toxicity in the environment that you reside in.
Mm-hmm.
So if you live in a very toxic environment, then your body has to purge more often.
Mm.
But if you're constantly putting more trash in you and you're living kind of a poisonous lifestyle, then it's going to build up. It's going to build up. And the body wants to live, right? It wants to perpetuate itself. It wants to survive. So it's going to clean that chimney out, when it needs to. And the time of year that it does this is in the fall. Because summer, we going hard. We getting all that power from the sun. We moving around. We're very active. But then the sun is not up as much anymore. It starts getting cooler.
Yep.
It's not as much of abundance. And how you know that? Because green represents abundance.
That's
and
right.
Now you're seeing the leaves turning colors.
Mhm.
They're going from the heart chakra to the solar plexus, right? With it being yellow leaves, and then to the sacral chakra with the orange leaves, and
Hitting
to
that
the
brown.
base chakra with the red leaves, to the right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you seeing this change, and that's essentially affecting you.
Mm.
So now the body wants to push all this out. This is why people get sick around this time because they're purging. It's not no flu. It's not no need for no shot or nothing like that. Just cleanse yourself. Chill. So then everybody gets cleansed. Everybody goes through the flu. Everybody's clean now, right?
Yep.
Getting ready for the winter. What do? Let's start with Halloween.
That's the first one. Yep.
Okay. So yeah, it's supposed to be something where we're venerating ancestors, spiritual realm, because the dimensions between that realm and the living realm, that membrane becomes toilet paper thin at that time.
Facts.
You wet that thing, you can rip right through it and jump back and forth, right?
Yep.
But we take it from that and turn it into let's scare you, fear. So it's like, okay, I just cleanse myself. I'm wide open. I'm vulnerable. Now, let me scare you. Let me hit you with the fear. Now, we know good and well when we look at the news right now, there's a fear campaign going hard.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And what I keep hearing from a lot of people, they'll hit me up and they be like, KT, you see the babies, how the babies are dying every day, blowing the babies up? I can't believe they're doing this. And I'm like, you're killing your baby. Don't you give your baby candy every day?
Look.
Don't you take them to KFC every day?
Facts.
Ain't you giving them? Do you know those people don't eat none of that stuff? They ain't eating no Fruit Loops. They dealing with bombs. That's what they dealing with. What's your excuse? Your bomb is in everything you eat, and you're gonna take your children out. You're
Chicken
gonna hold
nuggets.
their hand,
Yep.
and you're gonna skip through the streets.
Facts.
And you're gonna put nothing but bombs and missiles and bullets in their little jack-o'-lantern bucket. And you're gonna come home and you're just gonna eat it all up.
All the candy.
Right. So now you got all this sugar.
Yep.
Now you hitting the blood with all this syrup. You slowing the bloodstream down. Right? Blood pressure going up, people having all types of problems, and that's just Halloween with the sugar spike. We ain't even.
It's just the appetizer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. So we have to be a lot more mindful. The propaganda that we participate in, and we're human beings, so we're gonna always empathize with what other humans are going through. But you have to look in the mirror. You got to look at yourself. You got to look at yours. You got to look at the community you in and see what's happening to the children around you? What's happening to the people around you? You know?
Facts. Man, these kids, right? You know, on that same point, Halloween, having all the candies, Milky Ways, all the little bars, things like that. What do you think is driving so many young children to be obese right now and to have diabetes at 5, 6, 7 years old?
Well, essentially, it's the chemicals inside of the candy, right? In addition to the light. So, if we look in nature, it lets us know how things take place. So, let's go back to the athlete, right? So, somebody's going down the field or going down the court, and they sprain their ankle. Wow, right?
Yeah.
The minute they put that foot up somewhere, what is the physical thing that you see?
Starts to swell.
And swelling is what? Getting what?
It's bigger.
Bigger.
Yeah.
Okay, let's put that to the side. Let's go out of space. So now we're looking at suns, because suns is like, you talking about energy, ain't nothing more powerful than the sun, right?
It's the source. Yeah.
So we got dwarfs, but then we also got giants. Which one is more powerful?
Would it be the dwarf one, actually?
Yes, it would be.
Wow.
Because when you start getting into the star getting bigger, it's getting bigger because it's losing energy.
Opposed to being like compact and all the energy being within that.
And being organized and used properly.
Got you.
So, what am I saying here? What I'm saying is, when you look at someone who's obese, that's someone that's losing energy. They're bleeding electrons. It's like they got a lot of change in their pocket, and it's Swiss cheese. So it's just coins just falling out as they walk. So they're just bleeding all this energy. That's what obesity is. So how do you bleed energy? What causes you to bleed energy? Not getting the right light exposure, not tuning the light properly. So most children are what? They in front of the screen playing video games, in front of the tablet all day long, on the phone, texting, swiping, posting TikTok, right? Why do they call TikTok TikTok?
Taking your time, huh? Yeah.
You know, and if I say that, just like I said how Instagram was the gram of dope, right?
Yeah.
People like, oh, he reaching. But I'm like, it's called TikTok, and that's literally what it does. The more you use it, the more time speeds up, the less time you have, because time is relative. It's based on your perception.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're getting obese because their circadian rhythm is thrown off. Circadian rhythm being the rhythm of day and night. They don't have a proper rhythm of when they go to sleep and get up. They're not going outside in nature, getting the proper solar exposure. They're not in nature. They're dealing with the alien light of blue light as well as 5G. And that is affecting their metabolism, essentially, and causing them to bloom up. And when you throw the dyes from the candy, when you throw the artificial, let's not say sugar, because sugar's not bad, but when you talk about artificial isolated sugars, that's a whole different story.
Facts.
You know, and then heavy metals, you know, that's a cocktail for you. Yeah.
Wow. Time, right? That was going to be my next question, so that's perfect timing, of course. During this time, again, with the sun going down sooner, us scrolling, it feels like time is just moving faster, right? During these cold months. How do we try to slow down time and actually be in the moment more?
Interesting thing is time is actually supposed to slow down,
which is crazy, right?
Right,
but it doesn't feel that way,
right? Because we got the 5G, 6G, 7G, we got all this stimulation, everything's thrown off. So time is how we perceive it. You know, we used to have the time to do so much in a day. Now we get up, do 2 things, and the sun's going down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we want to look at entropy. You know, entropy is what you would call disorder or chaos. You know what I mean? When you're talking about thermodynamics, it's the second law of thermodynamics that talks about entropy. And entropy is just disorder. I talk about a messy room, you know, a broken mirror, you know, that's a mess, you know. And when you clean the room up and it's nice and neat again, you've put order in the system. So you decrease entropy, you have more time now. If your room looked like Theo Huxtable's room, You ain't about to get your test done. You ain't about to get your work done. You're gonna all types of other things are gonna happen. You're gonna get distracted.
Right.
But when that room is clean, though, you're gonna get a lot more done.
Yeah.
So entropy is order. So we want to establish more order during these winter months. You know, and we do that by first putting order in our system, and that's gonna be okay. When's the sun going up? When's the sun going down? Let me stay attuned with that. You know, let me see the waves of the sun throughout the day. When does my cortisol release at night? You know, cortisol releases at 4 o'clock. That essentially is to start waking you up. So by 6, you hot and you ready and you go get it. You know, but if you pumping cortisol all day because you stressed, you know, and your sympathetic nervous system is being overworked from fear campaigns and you stressed, then how are you going to properly tune your system? How are you going to create that order so you can create timing? No, everything is going to cause you to be scrambling. And whenever you're in the mode of panic, time is going fast as light. Yeah.
That's heavy, man. Stress, right?
Yes.
On the way here, you know, we're talking about traffic being crazy, things like that. So for all the people, you know, out there, they get off at 5:30, 6 o'clock, and then they got to drive in traffic for a whole hour. You know, during the summer, you can at least say, hey, when I get off, I'm going to take a run at the park. I'm going to take a walk. Now, all of those things are gone. So how do you try to, like, alleviate those high stress levels during this time, too?
So I would say, you know, crack your window because, you know, windows block UV. A lot of people don't know that.
Right.
When you go inside churches and you see stained glass windows, those stained glass windows are there to create certain frequencies of light in the church.
Wow.
You know? And when it's made of quartz and when it's made of certain crystals, it actually allows the ultraviolet in. There was a scientist that did an experiment some time ago, I think in the early 1900s, maybe even the late 1800s. And they sliced the onion and they put one by glass and one by quartz. And they noticed the one by quartz, the onion continued to grow.
Wow.
But the one with the glass didn't.
Wow.
You know, so he was able to deduce that there was another frequency that the quartz was allowing through that the glass wasn't, you know, and it turned out being ultraviolet.
Wow.
So when you crack your window, you let all the light of the sun in. You know, put some soothing naturescapes on as you're going home. Try listen to an audio book. You know, do some things to stimulate your mind. Breathing exercises are very, very critical because we can go years without eating. Right? Monks show us that. Right? You can go weeks without drinking anything too. You know, you're gonna be thirsty, but you could do it. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks.
But how long are you holding your breath? And that lets you know what priority is. So if you focus more on your breath, because that is the order. When you're panicking, when you're scared, when you're fearful, when somebody gets on your nerves, when you lose your cool, what's the first thing that changes?
Try to take a deep breath, but yeah.
You try to.
Yeah, but you can't
But
breathe.
your breath gets
shorter. Yep. You get built up.
shallow.
Yep. Yep.
Somebody muscle up on you and trying you. That's the
Adrenaline start pumping.
right.
Yep. Yep.
So I would say get your breath together. Because if you get your breath together, you get your thought together. The reason why getting your breath together is important because it's something called interthecal pressure, which is the pressure of the fluid that pumps up the spine, which is your cerebral spinal fluid. Your cerebral spinal fluid and the raising of your kundalini, right? And this whole powerful spiritual state we talk of is controlled and influenced by none other than how we breathe. The breath causes it to pump.
That's right.
The shallow breaths, it's just gonna go up and down. It's just gonna go up and down in sync. But when we do the deep breaths, the strong breaths, when we create a certain rhythm, we rise it up. Ain't that Atlanta's? Ain't
Rise
that the
up.
slogan, right? Ain't we
Yeah.
Falcons and Hawks?
Yeah.
Everybody keep looking down, though.
Yeah.
You got to rise up, and you rise up through that breath. You know what I mean? So I would tell people, you know, I say focus on your breathing in the wintertime, you know, since you have the time, you
Come
know?
on now. Yeah. Nah, for sure, man. Tablets too, bro. You know, seeing all these parents now, it's like with the kids, I don't see them raising children. Instead, here's this tablet, right?
Yeah.
And they just scroll on it, and the mom and the dad, they're trying to have a good time.
Mm.
Thanksgiving, of course, parents, they might want to kick back and chill, but that kid's going to be scrolling on that tablet.
Yeah.
What negative effects will a child get from just always being on that tablet and not being like mentally engaged?
Right. So, we move from Halloween with the candy. Now we going to Thanksgiving with the gluttony, where we have the Feast of Champions, right? We have turkeys and all of the sides and the super-itis, right? So in regards to the tablets with the children, first thing we have to think of is the most simplest part of it, and that is the fact that a child likes to do what more than anything? Play.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And where do you play?
You used to play outside.
Supposed to, because if you play indoors, what is any adult going to tell you?
Stop running around.
Stop
Sit
running
down.
around. Sit down. What you playing in here? Go outside.
You go break
right?
something. Yep.
Okay, so I go outside to play. What's outside?
It's got some trees. Yeah, bushes, grass.
What's in the distance? Maybe mountains.
Yeah.
The sky.
Yep.
So now I have depth perception. I can see far in the distance.
It's not like being inside of a prison where,
But with a tablet, I'm right here all day. This is going to change the shape of my eyeball. Because the body adapts.
Right.
So if I'm not out here anymore, if I don't have to see that mountain we see mountains that are like 1,000 miles away. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like all the way out, like that's some vision.
You can see Stone Mountain when you're just driving down the highway. Yeah.
Come on, man.
That's miles upon miles. Yeah.
So you got this thing like right here in your face. So that's going to affect your eyesight. That's going to affect your vision, your eyes or your brain. It's going to affect how you think. You're going to be very closed-minded. You're going to be limited with your visions. You're not going to aspire to do very much because you can't see from what's right in front of you. Right?
Right.
Then we get into the blue light. Right? So now we got blue light coming off that screen. And this artificial blue light that's not coupled with the red light and the ultraviolet light and the full spectrum light of the sun, this is going to affect something called melanopsin. All right? So melanopsin is this protein that exists inside your eye that is blue light sensitive.
Wow.
It's bound to vitamin A, to retinol, right? When blue light hits it, when artificial blue light hits it, it separates the bond between those two. Now the retinol's free. And most might say, does that even matter? What does that matter? Well, once that retinol becomes free, it's almost like it turns into bombs that just start dropping in your body. And it causes a lot of inflammation, a lot of problems, and a lot of issues.
Yeah.
So the more blue light's beaming on you, the more melanopsin you're destroying. The more melanin that you're hurting as well, because melanogenesis, which is the formation of melanin, right? The creation of melanin is actually activated by blue light.
Wow.
So you might think, oh man, that's a good thing, activating it. But no, you're activating it with artificial blue light, so the quality of your melanin is not going to be a Bentley. It's probably going to be like a Corolla or a Tercel. You know what I'm saying?
You got the luxury no more.
Or a Dodge Dart or something from back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Kicking out all the smoke.
Yeah.
You don't want that type of melanin, you know? So, we gotta get them so they can see more. Children are supposed to see the infinite, so
That's
they
right.
can imagine and they can see. Oh man, I could be anything I want to be. That needs to be their vision and what they see all the time. And then in terms of that blue light, you can get blue light blocker glasses for them. That's one thing that you could do. I
Hey,
got
we've
that
been
on
rocking
the
them.
site.
Yeah, me and Sid. Yeah, for sure.
It makes a big difference, you know. You need to get Faraday bags. Faraday bags are specialized bags that you can actually slide your phone and your tablets and your laptops in, and it blocks all the frequencies, But the best thing you could do is just you have to have a schedule where they're doing something else.